True Off My Chest Stories. Today we have Don't Marry Gamers 902 who posted, "My 3-year-old son escaped and was found naked close to a major highway, and I was on my way back from work when this happened. Where was Dad? In the house playing League of Legends."
I have 2 children. My daughter is 7 and my son is 3. Both have autism. My husband seems to prioritize his video games more than our children and it makes me angry. Years ago it was just a one-off, sorry, I completely forgot, a situation that didn't happen nearly as frequently as now. It started in the middle of the lockdown when I have to work longer hours than usual. We are both gamers. Sometimes I'll play a little game when I'm off work. I'm a nurse that works 12-hour shifts. Sometimes a little gaming from time to time won't hurt. But this man, if he's not working, he's gaming. It doesn't matter when he has 2 small children to look after. He will put on Netflix for them and lock himself in his room. He missed our daughter's talent show because of his raid nights in WoW, and I didn't find out until after the school called saying she was still in school. I dropped her off before work and reminded my husband to attend and be there for her. He wasn't. When my daughter was 4, he racked up at least $480 of late pickup fees at $60 for every 15 minutes past 6 p.m. she's not picked up, because he forgot to pick up our daughter from daycare, and I had to pick her up in the middle of my shift, take her home and give him an earful and made him pay for it. I lost count of the number of times I cut off the Wi-Fi in the house, and at one point straight up canceled the internet because I was tired of his nonsense. The only time the kids have anything healthy to eat is when I'm making them dinner. My husband will order pizza and Chinese or anything that can be delivered via Uber Eats. I have already told him to stop doing it since both kids are already gaining weight. The absolute last straw was when my 3-year-old son escaped our house when I was at work. He was naked and it was at 9 p.m. at night. This was the second time he escaped. The first time we were both home. And since then I installed multiple alarms on every door in the house. He even had a wristband on with our phone number. We live in rural Florida. We are very close to swamps and highways. This time I received a call from a cop saying they found him near the freeway. I gave him the address and rushed straight home. The cop outside my home with my son in the back seat. The cop said he knocked on the door and no one answered. Meanwhile I can hear the alarms going off. My husband's car is in the driveway. He's home. I get inside and what do I find? My husband is behind closed doors playing League of Legends. I cut off the internet and hid the router, and that's when he came out and literally said to me, "What the duck?" I told him to go outside. The cop wants to talk to him. After a brief conversation with the cop, I sent my son to his room and then we have another separate conversation. My husband said that he already put both kids to bed before getting on to play. I told him the same thing I've told him 30 times. If he's watching the kids, the game is off. Period. Since it's come to the point where our own son could have been kidnapped or killed, it's over. I told him to pack his bags and leave. Anyone who would endanger their own children over a video game has a serious problem. I suggested he see a therapist. I love him and I really want to make this marriage work for at the very least our kids. I'm seriously considering filing for separation while I consider the options. I just learned that Florida does not have separation clauses, so I'm going to contact a lawyer this week and discuss options for divorce.
Well, it sounds like you have 3 children and not just 2. You really did take some major precautions to make sure something like this didn't happen with the door alarms and wristband for your son. However, those clearly were not enough. When your husband is facing the consequences of putting his children's lives in danger, his marriage failing, and his and your children's overall unhealthy lifestyle, it's pretty easy to say that he is facing a video game addiction. Going to a specialized therapist who deals with addiction is the first step. Depending on his attitude, level of accountability, and whether he is genuinely remorseful for this result, should determine if you should separate from him for the time being or start the divorce proceedings. If he is in denial of there being an actual issue and doesn't want to face the fact that he has a video game addiction, I say you leave him and try to co-parent the best way possible. Hopefully, this is not the case and he sees the consequences of prioritizing video games over the safety of his family and what it is really costing him. Good luck, OP, peace and love.